tell our story. They are the reason that we do this work, and their voices reflect the heart of our school. We hope that through their experiences, you get a deeper understanding of what learning, belonging, and living looks like at TDS. So we have our student, Kendall Gillette, Zayden Figueroa, Ashley Sela, Bowen Fortini, and Roland Cutford. So for our goal number 1, meaningful assessments that drive meaningful instructions, this is our second year that we have this goal. We really want to make sure that the inclusive teaching practices that our teachers are using in the classrooms, our students are really understanding them and being able to transfer those skills year after year. We chose this goal because it is easier to measure than waiting until the end of the year to get CASP results. And so the work that we're doing to measure those are classroom observations, teacher self-assessments, but also student self-assessments as well, and student feedback, making sure that they really understand what those inclusive practices are, which are chosen on a grade level basis. The meaningful assessments that drive meaningful instructions, these are all of our lead measures, and led by the work of Kristen Will. Our ELA and history department are really working on constructive explanations and responses. The ELA and history department, even including our immersion students, are using the same templates and using the same sentence frames to make sure that the work that they're doing in each of their classes are used and practiced every day. Our math and science team are focused on CER, which is claim evidence and reasoning, and they use that on a daily basis as well. And during their grade level meetings, they are able to have conversations that are combining the two of how our students are doing across the board in all of their subject level classes. We are on board of hitting all of our lead measures this year, which is awesome, and we're only in our first trimester. So we will continue to refine and make sure that in our POC process, we are hitting all of our lead measures and making sure that our students are really understanding their writing and reading this year. What's glowing this year, we have revamped our POC process. So our teachers are having a more structured POC for their grade level and subject level work. So that way we make sure that they're staying on task and really looking at our lead measures every week and making sure that they're having conversations about student data and about student growth. We are in year 2 of our Inclusive Learner Day, and those are the days in September that we focus on our students with disabilities and English learners as a whole staff, looking at what we're doing in individual classrooms and how we're including the work that we're doing with those student groups in our POC process. We are also adding more staff and student feedback, so we're adding more surveys throughout the year to make sure that we're on task with what our students and staff feel like they need. And then we're also in year 1 implementation of our co-teaching and pushing support. So to talk more about co-teaching, we have Zayden Figueroa, one of our 8th graders. We're very proud of Zayden because this year he grew 128 points in ELA and 171 points in math. So.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Zayden Figueroa, and I'm an 8th grader at Tierra del Sol Middle School. This year, my class has had 2 teachers working together in the classroom, and this has helped me and my bad. I forgot. Wait. One, there are. Oh my God. I'm sorry. One, there are always teachers helping me in the classroom too. It makes me feel supported in the classroom. Having 2 teachers shows showing working together because the teachers support each other and us as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zayden. You did amazing. So here is our 24-25 data wall. The reason why it's 24-25 is because that is all of the data from all of our students, each and every single one of our students for their 24 CAS data, our 25 MAPS data as well as our attendance data and behavior data. So this is the wall that is in my office that our teachers can come in. They will be able to see each student's growth if they increase their levels in math or English, and it's really just a wall to celebrate our students and also to set goals as far as our PLC and as far as our small groups. So here is our amazing data. So our California dashboard data came out today. So we have that. We are at 41% proficiency in ELA and 28% proficiency math. And so that is a lot to work on, and we know that. But doing a deep dive into the data, we were able to see a lot of great work that we're doing. We were able to see that 64% of our current 7th graders and 80% of our current 8th graders increased their score. We were also able to see the same thing in math with 53% and 68% of students increasing their score. Now the work that we need to do is get them through proficiency. So we know that they're growing, we know that we're trending up, but we need to make sure that the work that we're doing, especially in our lead measures for our first goal, is getting them over to nearly proficient to proficient. But we have been able to do some great work this year. We were able to move all of our student groups out of the red. So this year we were able to move our EL students and our students with disabilities from red to yellow. This year, we were able to move our socially disadvantaged to orange, and the same thing with math. We were able to move our students with disabilities from red to orange, and in our orange to yellow. So we have done some amazing work over the past year to make sure that that data is increasing. We just need to make sure that we are focusing on how to get those students over proficiency. We have done some amazing work with our students with disabilities as well over the year. As you can see from last year, we increased 29.1 points, which made them go from red to orange. And then in math, the same, we increased 11.7 points, bringing them from red to orange as well. And we really believe that that's not just the co-teaching and the push-in work, but that's all the work from the entire staff working with our SPED and Gen Ed teachers together with all of the work that we were able to do in our PLCs, on our pull-out days. We did a lot of work last year trying to make sure that every student gets the support that they need in class. And in our student highlights, we spent a lot of time this year celebrating our students. We had numerous students who grew over 100 points in 7th grade and 8th grade. We have some student standouts, and as you can see, those student standouts are Gen Ed students, students with disabilities, and EL students. So we are seeing growth across the board. Donna Garcia, who is our student who grew the most for the school, grew 288 points in ELA, is one of our reclassified EL students.
Good evening, everyone. So I will talk about our ELD work, and to start us off, our TDS ELL vision that with the support of Michelle Perkins and working together with San Diego County Office of Ed, we were able to come together as a team and come up with our ELL vision. For our multilingual learners, we aim to foster connection, belonging, and resilience, resulting in a positive academic identity and strong belief in their own potential. So at TDS, our ELD really is rooted in strong collaboration and targeted support. Throughout the year, our ELD teacher will regularly share updates with all of our teachers. This includes information about where they are at in all of the LPAC areas, for example, in their reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And our teachers then use that information to then go back to their own classroom and provide supports across all of their classes through their instruction. And in addition, in our designated ELD class that is led by Ms. Herrera, it has such a major role in our student success. The classroom environment emphasizes trust, confidence, and a focus on growth. They, in that classroom, are able to work through if they make mistakes, if they're trying out different words or understanding different concepts. Our teacher really works with them to understand and walk them through the whole learning process, asking for help, talking about their progress, and building pride in their identity as learners. they really feel that when we talk to our students in this program, they really show that they are valued, that they're capable, and are on their own path towards reclassification. So all of these practices, school-wide collaboration, targeted skill development, strong relationship, and a focus on identity are all contributing to success for our English learners. And so, this is the amazing data that we were able to have because of this work that we're having together. So our data this year highlights the impact of our collective work. According to the state dashboard, 74.5% of our English learners made progress on the LPAC. That's more than a 21-point increase from the last year and 30% above the state average. This growth earned TDS a blue rating, and that is the highest level on the English Learner Progress Indicator. This progress comes from intentional school-wide practices. We maintain a strong focus on supporting ELs in every classroom and have a highly skilled teacher, Ms. Herrera, leading our designated ELD program. A lot of the instruction is focused on goal setting, on being intentional with our LPAC testing, and having an environment where students feel comfortable and supported. And so these structures help students feel prepared and confident, and that shows in the results.
So here is our reclassified students just this year. As you can see, we had students who grew 125 points, 155 points in ELA, 185 points in math. So our EL students are showing tremendous growth. We have one of our amazing EL students, reclassified students, Miss Ashley Sela. Ashley speaks 3 languages, and she was just reclassified. And we were able to add her, since she doesn't have to take the EL class anymore, we added her to our TDS immersion class. So she is now added into Spanish immersion, which puts her on track of earning her civil biliteracy and joining the GLLP program at LCAP. So
Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm in 6th grade. When I first came to TDS, learning English felt challenging for me. There were times I felt nervous to speak or worried about making a mistake. But my teachers and family supported me and I kept practicing, especially in reading and writing. I worked hard even when it was difficult for me. And guess what? I got reclassified, which means I am now considered fluent in English. This shows work hard. Even small steps every day can make a big difference. I also led by example. I'm proud of myself and I hope other students know they can achieve their goals too. Thanks for listening.
And so we're going to jump into Goal 2, which is all about persevering relentlessly and caring deeply. So for our Goal 2, our focus is on strengthening our school culture and ensuring students feel supported in making positive choices. So I know we've all heard about PBIS, and for us at TDS, that means GLOW. And we are now in year 2 of where all of our work with PBIS centered on our GLOW expectations. And our goal focused specifically on us tracking progress through Infinite Campus and Jupiter grades, reviewing and adjusting as we see, so that students experience a safe, predictable, and caring environment across all of our campus. And so these are our 3 lead measures, and they all reflect the proactive work already happening on campus. We're continuing to strengthen our PBIS system, which is our GLOW expectations. And in year 2, we are already seeing students respond with more consistency across classrooms and common areas. We've added monthly counseling lessons that give students direct support with organization, emotional skills, and academic habits, helping us address needs before they become behavior concerns. So that's all in terms of being proactive. And then in our grade level PLCs, teachers are regularly sharing strategies, problem solving around routines and behaviors so we stay aligned as a staff. All these actions together are setting a strong foundation as we work towards our overall behavior reduction goal, which I'd like to share with you all what our results are on the California dashboard data. So when we look at the data, we can see the direct impact that our systems and collaboration that we just talked about. Our chronic absenteeism dropped by 2.5%, moving us from orange to yellow. And our suspension rate dropped by 2.6%, moving us from red to green. These are significant jumps in a single year, and they show that our work around PBAS, our GLOW expectations, proactive counseling lessons, and aligned PLC support is making a measurable difference for our students. When we put side by side with the incredible progress of our English learners earning a blue on the ELPI data, it paints a clear picture. The systems we are building are working. Our students are showing up more, they are engaging more positively, and they are making strong academic gains. This is a result of a committed staff, a strong PBS framework, and a shared belief in supporting the whole student. And so, the data shows our impact, but the real story, again, is our students' experiences. And so I'd like to invite Kendall Gillette to share what GLOW and CREW means to her.
Hello, my name is Kendall Gillette. I'm in the 8th grade and I am Tierra del Sol's ASB president. I'm here today to talk a little bit about CREW and GLOW. GLOW is a huge part of our school's community this year at TDS. The G in GLOW stands for give respect, the L for lead by example, the O for own your actions, and the W is to work together. Now, what is GLOW and why is it so important to us? It's not just a word, it's more than that. It's the way we can show we love our community. It's the way we can make a difference. GLOW can look like many different things. Picking up trash when you're not asked to, helping out a friend that's stuck with something, making sure that we show our teachers kindness and give them the respect they deserve. These are just a few ways that students at TDS can represent GLOW. One of our classes at Tierra del Sol is called CREW. CREW is a group bonding and teamwork-based class. We create fun games in and out of the classroom so kids get the chance to experience what it should feel like to have fun while working together. We have 4 rotations of different games. Number 1, Curtis's CREW creates an inside the gym game like Castleball where teams compete to try and win. Number 2, Farron's CREW is our sports ASB and they teach outside games like a dodgeball tournament. Number 3, Ms. Lopez's CREW teaches inside the classroom games like spoons or cup stacking. And number 4, Ms. Harvey's CREW teaches our academic trivia where teams in the class play a Jeopardy-based game. Once a month, each class participates in Corley's Corner, which is a video our school counselor creates to talk to the students. We also look at a minute in history videos in our advisory class that Ms. Hardeman creates for us. Our ASB leaders all teach these CREW classes, and we even host pep rallies and GLOW assemblies. The students at our school dress up and have so much fun while participating in all of our events. The energy on our campus is such a positive influence on all incoming students. We recognize these kids who deserve to be rewarded at these GLOW assemblies by giving prizes and something we call a GLOW point. Students who behave well earn these GLOW points to buy other fun prizes at our ASB brand store. We have so much fun being at Tierra del Sol and have a great ASB class this year to make it so much better. Thank you so much for listening.
And now, thank you, Kendall, for sharing your perspective. Next, we'll hear from Bowen Fortini, who will talk about how unified PE and CREW bring students together, build teamwork, and support everyone's growth.
Hello, my name is Bowen and I'm in the 8th grade. At TDS, one thing I've accomplished in CREW has been including the students with special needs in school events so that everyone can have an equal experience level of sports and activities. This has been important to me so that everyone feels like they belong at TDS. When I was in adaptive PE, helping the 6th graders and students with special needs, my biggest accomplishment was getting the students to participate with each other and making them included in PE so they get their exercising too. Confidence is a tool you need at middle school to get through it. My confidence has changed from 7th to 8th a lot. It definitely has increased by being a role model, glowing, and keeping my grades up. In CREW and PE, GLOW represents not stopping when you feel tired, working together in sports, and encouraging others to play so everyone enjoys PE and CREW, and we all enjoy the games. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
All right, and then we also want to highlight our after-school sports programs. At TDS, we know that when students feel connected at their school, it positively impacts their engagement, their school success, and overall motivation. After-school sports give students the chance to build relationships, develop teamwork, and show school spirit and pride. This year, we're happy to announce that we have expanded our program and adding opportunities. We just had our first tennis practice with over 45 students showing up. Ms. Harvey did amazing, leading a tennis practice for 45 students. And so, in addition to that, we are also expanding the opportunities for our students to not only do competitions with schools within our district, but they're now reaching out, for example, to Hillsdale, LCC, and other schools to add to that level of showing our team pride and how awesome we are. And so some of the highlights that I want to share with you all is that our 6th grade boys flag football team this year went undefeated, 2 cross-country champions in different divisions, and we also won the 8th grade cross-country championship for the first time in years. And so again, all of these programs isn't just about competition. At the root of all of this is that they help students feel a sense of belonging, build confidence, and grow academically, socially, and emotionally. It's inspiring to see our students representing TDS and with pride and showing their school spirit also across the community.
So our last goal, goal number 3, is about our cross-curricular projects, pathways, and innovation. We've had this goal for a couple of years, making sure that every single one of our students participate in either a cross-curricular project, a culminating task, or something that includes UDL, STEAM, or design thinking. We have also really paid attention and spent a lot of time on creating our pathways and working with not only our school, but outside entities and as well as LCAP and Grossmont, making sure that our students get a really clear understanding of what is available for them here and then what is available for them when they get to high school. So our lead measures include not only our cross-curricular projects, but also making sure that we have established pathways and that we're working with Grossmont Union School District to make sure that our students are getting what they need here and really be able to be educated about the pathways that are available to them once they get into high school. So we know, looking at the labor market index, of what the skills are that our students need, and these are skills that they can start learning in middle school. And so all of our teachers know about these skills, and we try to incorporate this vocabulary in all of our lessons throughout the day when we're talking about GLOW, either in a positive way or if we're talking about how students can behave, increase their behavior. We are using these essential skills in this vocabulary because when you go out into jobs and they're asking like, what do you need or what do our students need, it's not just the specific things for that specific job. They are looking at overall skills that every single person needs, regardless of if they go to college, if they go straight into a career. Every single student needs to know the 4 C's: how to communicate, how to be creative, critical thinking, and being able to work together and collaborate with each other. So this year, we are very proud to say that we have Paxton and Patterson on campus, our college and career lab. We've been working on this for a couple of years, and we were finally able to get it going this year. It took a lot of hard work from our teacher, Mr. Nguyen, working, looking at different places that had Paxton and Patterson career labs. We went to a lot of different schools that have that and try to figure out how we can add that to the master schedule. And so we wanted to show our video. Sorry. Middle school is a crossroads. It's when students either find something that lights them up or they can begin to drift away. Here at Tierra del Sol Middle School, we're helping them discover what matters to them before they ever reach high school. Our College and Career Readiness Elective gives every student a chance to explore who they are, what they enjoy, and what kind of future they can build.
Our program uses Paxton Patterson's College and Career Ready Labs. It gives students hands-on experience in dozens of real-world careers, from building structures to analyzing clues or working with images. Each lab is built around teamwork, problem solving, and discovery. Students rotate through different modules. They get a taste of what it's like to work in construction, forensics, health science, welding, and cosmetology. By the end of the semester, they know what sparks their interest and sometimes what doesn't. It's a win either way.
We want students to enter high school ready to choose a path that fits them. This class connects to the many career technical education pathways offered through the Rosemont Union High School District. It's about helping each student take the next right step for their future.
I like working with my hands and seeing what I can build. This class helped me realize I want to study construction and architecture in high school, maybe even become a contractor one day.
I've always liked puzzles. And in the forensics lab, I've learned how to collect evidence and figure out what happened. Now, I'm thinking about a career in criminal justice or maybe becoming a detective.
I've been helping my dad work on cars since I was little. Here, I learned how engines work and how to troubleshoot problems. It's fun, and it made me want to study auto technology in high school.
We're helping students connect their learning to real possibilities. When they leave Tierra del Sol, they'll already have an idea of who they are and what direction they want to go.
College and career readiness starts at Tierra del Sol Middle School, where curiosity meets opportunity. So now we're going to introduce Roland Cutforth, who is going to talk more about the career value.
Hello, my name is Roland Cutforth. I'm in the 7th grade career exploration class. When I first started out, I was excited to do it because I thought maybe you could help me get a head start or get ready for certain jobs. I enjoy selective because it helps me and other students get a real feel of what a job is like. And helps everyone build social skills by working together and solving problems. I've learned so many skills. I've learned how to cook for myself well and repair items. This can be helpful for me in getting a future job. I believe this career exploration elective will help more students to come and help them with social skills and a better understanding of what a job is. This class has helped me to work, push my limits, and make me a better leader and a role model. Thank you.
Along with the career elective, of course, we have other electives that we offer. We are going to be giving our students a career inventory assessment right before they go to spring break. And we're hoping that once we get those results, we can have conversations that are going to be led in crew about what electives they should be choosing based on that career inventory. We also have electives that we are hoping to turn into future pathways. So we are looking at our KTDS rolling into the broadcasting pathway that we have at Santana, and in our robotics class rolling into the pathway that they already have at MCAP. And so we're looking at working with both of those high schools and seeing what classes we can actually offer to where it can be a true pathway into that high school if they choose to go to.
Right, and the last, but definitely not least, I would say a very big piece of our TDS puzzle is our partnership with parents. And so by 2026, TDS will hold at least 6 opportunities for parents to participate in supporting their children's education on campus. We do believe in the importance of working together with our parents, adding their voice into what happens at TDS and for them to experience what their day-to-day is like at TDS. And so far, we've been able to host already 2 community listening sessions where parents can come on campus, speak directly to Dr. Hardiman and myself about anything that's on their mind and that they would like to address. In addition to that, we've already hosted back to school night, also our amazing Mandarin immersion program led and organized the Moon Festival celebration in October, and then our Spanish immersion program led and invited parents for Dia de los Muertos celebration. And so we hope to continue to do even more for trimester 2 and trimester 3. This was just for trimester 1. Thank you.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
No question, just thank you for always focusing on the careers. You and I have talked about it for years now, so thank you so much for investing the time and effort and encouraging your staff to do so as well. And I hope the kids like it too. I was a Sun Devil, so I went to TDS, so I love TDS, and I'm glad with all the work you're doing. So thanks for your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd also just like to add on to that. I mean, really impressive data, really impressive growth. So keep up good work, moving a lot of the needles in the right direction. So I know it's not easy, and I think that's a culmination of a couple of years now, and I think you're seeing a lot of momentum. So I'm really proud of you. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I wanted to say that there's so many exciting things happening at TDS, and it's just so wonderful that our children have so many opportunities to go into many directions there. And I really thank all the students that spoke today. It was really very moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving to trustee reports, starting with trustee Bennett. Trustee Hayes?
Yeah, I have a few things. So since our last meeting, we did have the Bulls Only Rodeo. It kind of feels like that was like 3 months ago, but it did happen. So I was at that. I went to the EGC Car Show, which is a fantastic association here in the district that does a lot of construction work, so I went to their car show. I also had the policy committee. I did a few site visits. I went to TDS last week. I was at Lakeside Farms. I was also at Lakeview and at LMS last week, so I had a great time visiting some of our sites. And then I just want to thank Rona Band of Mission Indians and Senator Brian Jones for their work on getting a grant for Ms. Vildebell's music class of $5,000. I'm very happy. I was also glad to help facilitate the introduction to help with that, but I'm so glad that there's $5,000 coming to Ms. Vildebell's class, so I'm very excited about that. And that's my report.
Thank you. Trustee Casper.
A couple things. This is my second year on the safety committee. If you don't know what that is, it's a room full of people all the way around that are community leaders. It could be representatives from sheriff, the fire department, the food bank, several of our principals, and a lot more people. And it's really an honor to serve on that. And one of the things that was discussed, because every month, every time we meet, there's a specific topic by a speaker and then some other input. The dangers of vaping and smokeless tobacco was discussed in detail, and especially how harmful that is to our youth. And so there were a lot of resources there, and Dr. Fernandez is always there and runs it. So that was really interesting, and felt that those were dangers there that we don't want kids to get into. There's also, we had a little Halloween pumpkin carving thing here, and then a chili cook-off, which was really a lot of just esprit de corps of the community here. It was really great with the staff. A couple things coming up is Spirit on Christmas, which I attend every year on Main Avenue, and there's information on that. And it's definitely kid-friendly. It's an evening, and all kind of vendors and all kind of great things that make Lakeside the special community. We call it the gym of East County, from that's why I moved here. The last thing, and you can get this information on the school website or call our district. It's really important. We have food banks. Linda Park and Living Crest has food banks. And the schedule you can call or consider, go on the website. If you know anybody that needs produce and other types of food, it's really, really important. It's for everybody. It's for the community. And, there's kind of really a time of need right now, things that are happening. And so there's a lot, much more. Thank you.
Vice President Robinson.
Yeah, I don't have a lot tonight, but Halloween around the district was really fun. All of the schools I didn't get onto any campuses on that day, but a lot of the schools did different things, had their own flair, and I got to see a lot of fun pictures. Yeah, thank you to Scott for sharing a lot of this with me. But the highlight of that day for me was coming here along with Ron to judge our district's pumpkin carving contest and chili cook-off, so it's always a difficult decision. The other highlight this month was the TDS Dia de los Muertos event. It's such a cool event. If you ever have not gotten the chance to see it, go out and see it next year. The two coolest things I thought were the students' masks that they made, and then most of the students made mini altars, and you can just see a lot of the care, individuality, and work that went into this. So that's it for me.
Thank you. So for me this month, I've spent a lot of time working on continuing education. I finish the Masters in Governance courses next week, so that's exciting to finally be done with that and graduate. We did have another policy committee meeting. Those policies are on this agenda. I attended the carnival at Lakeside Farms and the fall festival at Winter Gardens, as well as we had our second set of American degree recipients for FFA. This was the second year students from our original middle school class. We had 4 of those original students with their original teacher who had taught them through the whole span. There were 11 recipients total, but 4 of those started in our program. So I think that's great for the CT, program development that we're doing through that, to have 4. For those that don't know, the American degree is received by less than 1% of FFA members. It's very hard to get and very prestigious, and for us to have now had, I think we've had 6 total from our program, but 2 last year and 4 more this year is quite an accomplishment. And I was happy to be able to travel out with them and celebrate that. So, that's it for me. So that will then move us on to opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any item described in this notice. Do we have any public comment?
Yeah.
Welcome, Carrie.
Good evening. Okay, hi. I am commenting on board policy 5131 conduct, board policy NAR regulation, 5144 discipline, and the behavior resolution draft. I just want to take a moment to say on behalf of the LTA, thank you for reviewing these policies, and they are regarding behavior. It means a lot to the teachers to see that the board is recognizing what's happening, not just listening and seeing our emails, but also beginning to take actions through policy review. The policy shows that you understand the need for clear expectations, real supports, not just managing behavior, but making sure teachers can do their jobs safely and that students can learn in a calm and stable environment. We also know that resolutions are only, and policies are only as effective as the people who bring those intentions to life and bring them off of paper on our campuses. So implementing these, if you vote to pass them, is going to be only possible with the continued support of the programs that you've already supported, like our partnerships and resources, like our school counselors, PBIS teams, behavior support teams, the integrated supports between special ed and gen ed, our Wellness Together counselors. All of those supports go hand in hand in being able to support the actual policy as it comes to life on our campuses. We feel that all of that in combination with continuing those supports and fine-tuning the areas that need attention are going to make our campuses places where students can be successful and safe. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment? We do not. All right. That we are going to move on to our presentations. And we have a presentation by Garcia regarding Epilepsy Awareness Month.
ladies and gentlemen. I want to sincerely thank you for your time and support for letting me speak a second time, and for your commitment to making a difference. Your decision to pass the Epilepsy Awareness Resolution means so much, not only to me, but to every student and family whose lives are touched by epilepsy. By supporting this mission, you're creating a district where understanding, inclusion, and safety come first. You're sending a message that every student deserves to be seen, supported, and educated without fear or stigma. I've also brought a few copies of my book, Playing the Lightning Inside, in your folders. This book has helped me spread awareness in the district and education to over 200 students so far on what epilepsy is and how they can help. Thank you for standing with me and raising awareness and helping build a community that leads with compassion and knowledge. Together, we are making a real impact, and I'm so grateful to be here with you today and to take that step with you. Thank you. And in your folders there are my book, a bracelet with my platform on it, and some papers from the San Diego Epilepsy Foundation. And I will also be having a booth at the Spirit of Christmas with more information. Thank you.
All right, with that, we have adoption requested of resolution number 2026-10, epilepsy awareness, recognizing November as Epilepsy Awareness Month. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there a second? Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion on this item?
No.
All right, great. Then all in favor? Aye. None opposed? That will pass. We're going to take a picture with
Oh.
Not in the front?
Not in the front.
Thank you guys.
That's a great presentation.
Okay, next on the agenda is our consent agenda. So we are looking to designate items to consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Autumn. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Is there anything you would like to pull from the agenda? No? All right, with that, we are looking for a motion to adopt all items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion? Thank you, Autumn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And is there any discussion on this item? And so all those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? That passes as well. Which we will move all the way on to our new section, which is our board policy section. So I want to note that these are, per the changes at our board retreat, we are now doing first readings at the policy committee level, and then second readings and adoption at the board meeting level. So everybody still has the opportunity to pull something and ask questions, but that first reading is now taken care of by committee. So with that, we have our first policy is board policy and administrative regulation 0420.4, charter school authorization. This is a second reading and adoption. I don't know how, since this is our first time, do you want to discuss first? How do we want to?
I think for the board's edification, just so you're aware, the policy committee consists of Laura and myself, and then Lisa Davis and our superintendent, and Rachel. And so that you're aware that's our policy committee. So what happens is we get the policies, or a policy is brought forward, it could be by any of us, by the way, so anyone who wants to bring something forward, you would just say, hey, we want this to go to the policy committee for a review. And then it'll be reviewed, and then it comes, then we go through it, numerous iterations of things, and a cabinet gives their input, and then we edit it and then bring it back to the board. So for example, with the behavior policies that I wanted to bring forward, excuse me, the behavior policies that I wanted to bring forward, we had numerous back and forths with it, but we landed on these changes that you'll see here. And so that's kind of what we do. So I think from my perspective, when we're looking at a second reading, you would simply know that it's any changes that were made in policy committee already with ample discussion, and sometimes multiple meetings in order to make it so. So just so you're aware of the sausage making process for that.
Yeah,
that would just be introducing kind of the whole idea.
Process. All right, well with that, we will start with the first one, which is second reading and adoption. Is there a motion regarding that policy? To adopt? Thank you. And is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion on this item? Great, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Perfect. Second is Administrative Regulation 3516.1, fire drills and fires. Second reading and adoption. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Jim. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? That passes. Board Bylaw 9005, Governance Standards, second reading and adoption. Is there a motion regarding this item? Thank you, Autumn. Is there a second? Thank you, Ron. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor? Aye. None opposed? That passes. Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5116.1, intra-district open enrollment, second reading and adoption. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there a second? Thank you, Autumn. Any discussion on this item? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Board Policy 5112.5, open closed campus, second reading and adoption. Is there a motion on this item?
So moved.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there a second? Thank you, Autumn. Any discussion on this item?
I would like to just bring up on this item, this, for the members of the public, this was an item that we wanted to, there needed to be some clarity around what this meant. We get feedback all the time from whether it's staff or parents, and so we tried to highlight the importance of a student can't just leave campus, while also ensuring that people have to check in when they go in, but we're not trying to limit parent access to a site. So in the language that we crafted here, we tried to create a balance between those two important factors where staff need to know that they do have a secure campus, while also parents have the right to know that they can go and visit their student or see their student, but you need to check in so we know who's on site. So that needed to be fleshed out in board policy so that in the administrative regulation, staff have the ability to know that that's the board's desire and intent. So we wanted to help staff and the district do what we want to do to keep schools safe and also help parents. So we needed to change the language in order to meet that goal. So I just wanted to highlight that was the discussion that we had related to this item.
Right, because this had come to us once before, and then we had pulled it for further discussions. And I think we're all happy now with the language in it. Any other discussion on this item? No? So all those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? That passes. Board Policy 5131, Conduct, second reading and adoption. Is there a motion on this item?
So moved.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there a second? Thank you, Autumn. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, I'd like to give the context of
Yes.
So the following two policies in the AR, this was kind of a robust discussion that I was introduced to by our teachers, who I spent quite a bit of time working with to craft some clarity in board policy to help ensure that the behaviors that we know have been challenging. We also know they're getting better. And so we've seen that. We've seen that there are lots of great work going on our sites. We know that. The goal here is to make it the policy of the board to say that many of the existing practices that we have are great, and we want you to know, we want you to keep doing them, and we want to support you from the board level in those efforts to do that. That will help create clarity down the system, knowing that sometimes the board policy is not as direct as it needs to be. It uses words that don't say shall or this or that. We need to make sure that teachers and administrators are empowered to do the things that we need to see happen to address behaviors. And so a lot of the feedback I received from our teachers was super helpful in crafting this to provide them support and also allow for our administrators to have the support from our side as well. So again, that was the intent here. It's a step in the right direction. There's a lot of work to do, which we'll discuss in our discussion item. But I think that this is just a way for us to clarify and put into writing some of the things that we do already, but also show that the board supports it and wants these things prioritized. So that's the intent of the board policy. And that was the discussion that I had with many teachers, and then of course we had the policy committee. Thank you.
Any further discussion on this one? All right, so then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed, that one passes. And last is board policy and administrative regulation 5144, discipline. Second reading and adoption. Is there a motion on this one?
So moved.
Which one? You'll second? Perfect. So I'll take Andrew and then Autumn. Any discussion on this item?
Other than, I don't want to reiterate what I just said, so, but this was combined as a package.
Sounds good. Any other discussion? All right, with that, all in favor? Aye. Hearing none opposed, that passes as well. We will then move on to discussion items. We have our enrollment report as part of the packet. Did anyone have any questions on that? No? Okay, and on to legislative updates. Do we have any updates on that one?
The legislature, thank God, is out of session, so we don't have any, I don't have any updates on anything like that.
Okay, anyone else want to add anything in that section? All right, then we will look at our 2026 board calendar. There is a copy of that in the binder with the calendar for next year. Highlighting, I want to discuss the January 7th special board meeting. That's the one that we decided was going to be our budget, as well as we now have discussed a couple times about fleshing it out into more like second board retreat, which we used to do the 2 a year. We stopped doing that, moving back towards that, and then having it be budget, and then we're gonna have it at the session on behavior. So we are looking at doing that from instead of a all day, doing it an afternoon, evening. So I think right now we're tentatively looking at like 1 to 8 with a dinner break in between, starting with budget and then moving to behavior. So if everybody is good with that, then we will.
Can I just add a comment onto that? The intent of adding the behavior at the end of the meeting is so that parents, members of the public, staff can attend and share with us exactly what they're thinking, because we want to address, we want to hear from everybody on this. And then one of the other kind of impetuses for the behaviors stuff that I've been looking at is, having looked at surveys from parents in our district and community members, safety and these are huge issues that they want us to address. And so I want to make sure, and when we talked about it, I thought it was most important that members of the public could have access to us in the evening. So that's why we're pushing the behaviors portion to the end, and that was what we had discussed. So I just wanted to add that context to the board so that they understand, we understand that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the idea of shifting to that afternoon to evening, because we did discuss in the board retreat over the summer, in the survey, behavior was our #1 topic item that popped up. So this is furthering the conversation that we started. day and doing it at this January meeting instead. So,
It will make for a long day, but it'll be good.
it will, but
It'll be good. We have to go through our budget, and the other part of this, just for my colleagues' knowledge, is, we can talk about the budget first, and I think that's important so we understand our framework going forward, so that we can then make other decisions about, what resources we have. We will have more knowledge, and poor Lisa's over there, fearful of perhaps of this meeting. But the point is that, we're looking to try to see if there's any, additional items that we can look at doing. But having a full knowledge of the budget beforehand is probably ideal.
Is everybody good with the schedule as it is? Do we need to make any adjustments to it?
That was the
Right now, the 7th, it's a Wednesday, we're looking at 1 to 8 right now. But any other of the dates, everybody's good on the calendar as it is? If so, I am going to be looking for a motion to adopt the 2026 board meeting calendar. But we can adopt it. Because otherwise we have to bring it back next month.
I was gonna bring it back.
You want to bring it back? Okay, I'm okay with that.
I guess that gives us time to
Look at your calendar then.
Rachel, would you mind sending us out like a whole poll for us?
And then we also have the discussion of behavior resolution. This is a draft that is also in your binder. It is in a draft version right now with the, kind of what we're looking at is making adjustments now and then bringing it back next month for approval. So,
Would you like me to introduce?
I would love you to, thank you.
So this resolution falls in line with kind of the theme of the evening on the policy side, which is, trying to address and wrestle and get to the ground this issue of behaviors in the district and of students, and how do we support teachers, staff, families in this. It's not a one-size-fits-all, and so the actions we just took were immediate actions that are helpful, that will help some of the streamlining of current systems. But thinking forward, this resolution is trying to, and by the way, it's in draft form on purpose this evening, because we want everyone to have access to it, to be able to give us thoughtful feedback in advance of next month's board meeting when it's anticipated to be brought forward for approval and directive to the district, right? And so my only comment on this really is, please comment, please send us information about what you like. I already have edits in my mind to what it looks like, but this is a very rough starting point for us. So to my colleagues, please do, review it. Think about the things you've heard from parents, think about the things you've heard from teachers. We can incorporate those things here. And then it sets, the key point that I'd like to highlight is for staff and for teachers and for members of the public, is at the very end, in the be it further resolved, it brings forward a review of relevant policies that are related to behavior. These may not be comprehensive. These are some that have been discussed with stakeholders. I've discussed with other stakeholders, but that doesn't mean that they're the only ones. And so if there are other ones that should be here that should be looked at and that would go through policy committee, that would be the time to let us know and let us know in advance so that we can edit this draft and move it forward. So, these are just kind of the themes, right? Enforcement of clear and consistent disciplinary procedures. I would like to say that this is not saying we don't do those things already. This is a statement of the board affirming our support for what we do already and what we'd like to see better. I really don't want anybody to think that this is about not what we're not doing. It's about how we're going to enhance what we're doing and making things better. I think that's a really important key point for folks here. So you'll see that there's numerical items of subject line headers here of what we like to look for. So not married to this language, but I wanted to introduce it tonight with kind of the background of intent. And then hopefully we could have discussion as a board about what we're thinking of. So I'm going to be quiet. I just wanted to bring that up.
know the one issue that keeps coming up over and over, or that I've heard, especially in the elementary school, are classroom evacuations for students that have behaviors, right? That's a really big issue. Would that address that? And would that address it if the student is a stud student?
Good question. I think one of the major challenges that we will have, and I think we need to have the discussion here, hence this directive, and hence this resolution, and which will provide guidance, is it's very important that we balance, least restrictive legal standards with also a room being cleared 5 times a day, right? I mean, that's problematic. So I think we need to balance those things, and this process over the next month is our time to delve into how we can address that. We did in some cases in our board policy that we just passed address, the need for, trying to make sure that our sites are not necessarily, that's not necessarily the default that we're just going to evacuate, but in some cases that may be the only recourse, right? And so, and I heard that a couple times from teachers, is that sometimes that's maybe the only way to keep everybody safe, right? So we need to wrestle with that. I'm not saying we don't have to have an immediate answer today, but well taken. I think we should have that discussion, and we should put something in here that, and again, maybe it's a review of some of these existing policies that will address that.
Yeah.
But this is where, that's kind of the idea here, is wrestling with those challenges, because those are real challenges that we need to address.
Yeah, and I think the first time a classroom is evacuated is, okay, we're reassessing what we need to do, how do we support this student and keep all the other students safe. But yeah, 5 or 6 or 7 times later, parents are frustrated, the other students aren't feeling safe, the teacher is overwhelmed, I mean, so that, yeah, so I think you nailed it on the head, Lisa, we need to balance that.
I'm gonna make notes of what we're discussing too, so that we can add that to the study session of the key items that everybody's bringing up too. So just so you're aware of, we'll make sure that these things are things that we discuss at our study session.
Thank you. The other thing on that point too, Trustee Allison, is that when I think about evacuations, I think about the from what I hear from parents, one of the key things I've heard is, it's this balance of the student that has a behavior challenge has rights. All the other students have rights. And so we're balancing, well, what do we do after 1 strike, 2 strike, 3? I mean, what do we do, right? And I think that is the discussion for us, right? Is to say, yeah, one time, yes, we recognize we have to assess the situation and we need to communicate to parents. Now, we can't communicate everything. That's fair and that's right in many cases because there's privacy issues involved. But I would also say that after the 4th, 5th time, what are we doing, right? And I think we can put that perhaps into policy, but I think we need to have a robust input and discussion. That's why putting this as a draft this evening allows for the members of the public, our teachers, our administrators to have a chance to look at it, provide us comments and feedback so that when we can craft a better version of this and then pass it and then move into our January study session.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, edits?
Trustee Casper, you have any items or thoughts?
No, I think it looks good. We need to move on with it and get as much feedback as possible. Clear, crystal clear. And effective.
Okay.
And reduce it other times, obviously.
No, I love the way of putting some teeth or some guardrails around this stuff. I do agree with what you've been saying. I think we have to figure out at what point do the rights of the collective outweigh the rights of the individual in those situations. And that's how you focus. So that's the real challenge.
I mean, we've been doing like Andrew's great PBIS work. We definitely don't want that to fall by the wayside, and I don't think anybody would.
district, but I mean, to be able to think about that through the process as well of, making sure that we are continuing to support all staff and students through the process is definitely something that we'll continue to need to discuss, especially as we go into discussing the budget earlier that morning too. We think through with that same lens.
And I think I just know that teacher burnout is
It's a thing.
high anyway, but especially these last few years, the behaviors are so rampant that we need to figure out how to better support them. But balancing it with our students.
I also think it's a morale issue. I mean, burnout is part of the morale thing, but I also think it's also a support mechanism to provide clarity for our staff and our teachers what the board is going to support them in their efforts to do, right? I think a lot of times, it may be unclear, and we want to be fundamentally clear with what we're trying to accomplish here so that our team has the ability to go and do the day-to-day work on the ground. And with the intent of what we're trying to see is we're hearing from here, and we're saying we want to address it and do these things. Go forth and let's do this. I think that'll help provide, clarity of purpose, hence why some of these policy changes will be helpful, I think, as well, because it allows for intent of the board. Which translates.
Which I'm hearing translates within the systems.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I mean, I'm happy with it so far. I'm curious to hear what feedback people have as well, but I didn't have any edits. I may clean up some of the.
Yeah, I think there's linguistic cleanups.
I'm gonna look at cleaning up some of the be it further resolved just so it flows a little better and doesn't get lost in all of the policy. It's hard to see, sometimes we get all this policy and then it's like, oh, and we'll schedule a board study session and we're gonna have a report, but I think it's kind of lost right now, but I'll work on that one as well.
Yeah, I think this is, like I say, hence draft. And I think we just look at draft and please don't be bashful, public, give us feedback, this is important. So I encourage everybody to tell us, because when it comes before us and it's agendized, we can make some changes from the dais, but you've got a month to tell us, what it is, and you can't say that we didn't tell you. That's all I will say.
And one more thing, thank you so much to the policy committee. It's a lot of work. And thank you for the hours and hours you're putting into that.
It's been fun so far.
With your official eye, I admire that. So thank you so much.
All right, any other discussion on that item?
No.
Everybody's good? Perfect. And we are going to go to reports to the board, and we will start with Gary Strong.
All right. It won't be too long. So we wanted to start by recognizing that November is National Indigenous Peoples, Native American Heritage Month. And so part of our association's work with that is also connecting our educators with resources so that they can grow their own understanding of histories, present and past, impacts of our local tribes. And so we're holding an event at Humaca College America's Museum this Saturday for any of our educators who would like to attend. Also, we want to tip our hat to our school psychologists. The first week of November is National School Psychologist Week. They're amazing. They do so much work, not just to help our special education students. A lot of their work centers around assessments and evaluations and looking at IEPs and appropriate accommodations, all those kind of things. But they also provide important supports and one-on-one counseling and support sessions with our students, and they help. They're just another adult who builds a meaningful relationship with our kids who are in need on our campuses, and they do a lot of work, and they spend a lot of time thinking about our students. So just want to recognize them. The other thing that we want to recognize is that it was also California Retired Teachers Week. The people that we are all aspiring to be one day. So if you're a retired teacher, you know the beauty of that. And one of the things that our retired teachers do not have to worry about is report cards, but that is something that our current teachers do have to worry about. Oh my gosh. And so we have a new report card, as you guys know. This is our first time where our whole K5, or TK5 I should say, is rolling out our new report card. And so our teachers were really busy adjusting and learning about the new report card. We really appreciate that the last district-wide PLC was designated as a time to work on that. And the teachers really appreciated the format of that, so rather than gathering everybody in one place to go over the report cards, they had them gather on their sites in their grade levels to go over the teacher handbook and the matrix and the report cards and really dig in to understand how we're kind of trying to calibrate and score our report cards. That was super effective, and they also appreciated that our admin and Dr. Witzber walked around and checked in with them, took notes, wrote down lots of questions, followed back up. All of that was really supportive. So thank you for trying to roll out. Report cards are a big hot topic for teachers, and so it's a slow rollout. We took 2 years working on it, developing it. So I think we handled that in a really great way, and I like the process that we all worked on to get to where we are now. So that's what I wanted to say. Oh yeah. Spirit of Christmas, Ron, you brought it up already. LTA is going to have our booth at Spirit of Christmas, along with a few of our schools also have their booths, and loads of our teachers are preparing their kids to perform. Orchestras, all that kind of stuff are going to be there. It's going to be super fun, as well as other performances that are going on at our school campuses, and we hope that as those invitations go out, we know everybody's calendar gets super busy in November, December, but it'd be really fun to have some of you be able to come to some of them at our campuses. And we will see you around. Thank you.
Thank you. Didn't see David here, so we'll move on to Lisa Davis.
I just have a couple of quick things. Next Thursday and Friday, Samantha and I will be attending the CEO Symposium. And so that's kind of the kickoff, the start of looking at what next year's budget before the governor comes out. There's usually a lot of good speakers that have insights of what 26, 27 is going to look like. So I'm hopefully optimistic that it will be better news than what we've been having. And then there's also on January 20th, there's a budget perspectives workshop that Capital Advisors always puts on. Board members usually, because it's free and it's at the county office, and it's from 9 to 11. So if any board members want to attend that, I think Rachel's going to be sending out the invite for the registration. But Kevin Gordon usually gives a pretty good insight as to, it's always after the governor comes out with his budget proposal for the new year. And so it's good information, so I would recommend if anybody can make it to go to that, because it's local, it's free. And we're knee deep into Samantha's what?
Oh, she's there.
Yeah, she's right there. First interim will be right around the corner, December, so we'll have those, that budget report. That's it.
Thank you. All right, Robin Ballard.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. My tech advisor is going to launch my data to show you. Per our LCAP, we're thrilled to show you our legally mandated and required report regarding our teaching assignment monitoring and outcomes for the 2023-24 school year, because we're right at the cutting edge of data. We just need to make sure that you have an opportunity as our elected board to review our data. You'll see a chart here by school site, and then across the top, a little bit smaller, just a wee bit smaller, Scott. There you go. All of our credentialed teachers, there are many, many, many ways to be a credentialed teacher in the classroom in California. And so across the top of this chart are all the different ways that we have our state evaluating our effectiveness with our credentials and our status. And so what we want to review with you or just show you and give you an opportunity to ask questions about is if we could just shrink it, there you go, and show the school site on the left. You can see in the first our total teaching full-time equivalent, FTE. So for each of our campuses during the 23-24 school year. And then the clear column are those teachers who had clear credentials. That is, they had their credentials, they met their new teacher induction program, and then they subsequently have their clear credentials. And that's, in a perfect world, we would have 100%. Challenging in this day and age with teaching and credentials and all the different ways and myriad requirements to meet that. So we end up with, the state has created a number of classifications which are quite interesting and confusing. But overall, what we need to share with you is our out of field is, if you could believe it, those individuals where they had limited permits. So teachers had permits, but because they hadn't met every requirement of a credentialed program, the state allows for a waiver process. And so there's 5 different things of those. Things that you might have heard of, like the emergency English learner or bilingual authorization, or a short-term waiver. That would be that column for out of field. So they're in process, they're people committed to teaching, but there's a certain percentage, as you can see, for each campus. Ideally, we'd love to see 0%, but it's not a bad thing if it's not 0, because we went through a legal process in which to meet those folks, but we're being very transparent in this data that they do not have a clear credential, if that's making sense. Next, you'll see the intern. That's exactly what it sounds like. These are individuals who have bachelor's degrees, they're in student teaching programs and teaching programs, and they've qualified to be an intern. So we hire them in hard to fill positions, largely within special education, in order to be able to allow them to serve with students at the same time. They have mentors within the campus and the district. They have an intern program with a mentor and a university program. And so that's where that intern column comes from. Questions so far? Ineffective is ironically not what it is called. It's a term that was chosen. Ineffective definition is those individuals who are on provisional internship permits, short-term staff permits, variable term waivers, and substitute permits or teacher permits for statutory leave holders. And what that means is, this is another category. If you're keeping track of the numbers, this is the 12th different way you can serve legally in a classroom in California while somehow being called ineffective. I don't know. But the reality is that these are qualified adults, very caring. They've gone through bachelor's degrees, they've gone through student teaching programs. Maybe they didn't pass an exam like the RECA exam, or maybe they've tried their BCLAD and they haven't passed the BCLAD program or the exam, and so they have to redo some coursework, if that's making sense. But the state, in their wisdom, decided to call those people ineffective because they had to have some way of differentiating them from the interns and the out of fields and the not clears. Right? Then we have a fabulous column called the incompletes. These are fabulous, wonderful people who heaven help bless us all. For some reason, the data did not sync up between our system that goes through the County Office of Ed system, that launches to the state CalPAD system, and then it marries. We didn't get married. It didn't happen. So we have a little bit of people that are called incompletes. They're still qualified teachers. It's just, hey, our data bits didn't bite, so we're incomplete. Then we have the unknowns, because heaven help us, there's yet another category that we're just not sure about. But guess what? We did great. It's 0% unknowns. Do you have any questions? questions on our 2023, 2024.
All back from, yes.
That was the most enthralling.
I can't follow the students and their charming presence.
It's also
I
whole
gotta-
data.
I gotta go with the data that I got.
So this was the most recent data?
We're always behind, right? Because the data,
4 years.
you'll get another opportunity at this wheel in about a year from now. We'll call it the 24-25 data. I don't know if it'll be as enthralling or interesting, but.
If you do the same exact presentation.
Yes, all right. Questions on any of that?
It is very entertaining, and I
Yeah,
have
it's
to
very
ask,
good.
sorry, can you go down a little bit, IT?
Our IT support.
It's, what is the reasoning behind Lindo and being so far behind everybody else?
Oh, on the staffing?
Yeah.
Further clear.
Yeah.
I
On
mean, they're
new
remarkably low.
New teachers, lots of teachers.
And the reason they're saying our fabulous audience is saying new teachers.
There's a lot of ineffective, it could be, okay.
It's because.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah, and it's exactly right. And another reason too is, notice the incompletes, right? And so those poor incompletes, we just didn't get married. So we weren't able to marry up in time for when this data is, the magic date is captured and then put into this chart. So we just have a requirement to show you and to allow you to question us and to ask specific questions like that.
Thank you.
I mean, I like it. It's the first time we got to see something like
It's
this.
brand new.
Love it.
It's brand new, it's 2 years behind, and it's 2 years behind. But all kidding aside, we do have really hardworking, dedicated teachers, and this chart is a way because we all want highly qualified teachers, and we all have to find ways to get those gems who are dedicated to our students, who, for one reason or another, we really see in them the worthiness in the classroom, but maybe they didn't pass the test the first time, and so they need a little bit more time, so that gives them a category of permit. And we want to staff every classroom every day with a highly qualified teacher, and that's our goal. And like I said, the state gives us about 12 different ways legally to do that. And the goal is to support all teachers all along the pathway of earning their credentials so that they feel comfortable, confident, and supported to finish their intern year and to complete and get that preliminary credential so then they can go into their new teacher induction program, which is required by the state, a 2-year program. So that's our goal. And
Robin doesn't pat herself on the back, but I'll do it for her. I got long arms. So obviously identifying very talented teachers and then supporting those teachers. And so all of these different categories, like when they are clear credentialed, that's the goal. But a lot of times we'll identify, through the interview committees and things like that, fantastic people that we want in our system. And then Robin and her team get to figure out the best pathway to get them in the classroom. And it's not easy work. There's a lot of conversations with county people, a lot of conversations with the individual teachers as well. Like you said, they're very supportive conversations, but we'll do this 1-year permit so you can do this, but you've got to do this by this date. And there's a lot of follow-up that she's doing a fantastic job with.
Thank you, Sarah.
And the ultimate goal, like I said, is we're very proud of our teaching staff in this district. Identify those great people and then get them on board and figure out that pathway so they can get to the clear. That's always the goal.
And Lisa Mendoza is tremendous. She does an enormous amount of groundwork and the heavy lift on this because she works with me with the credentialing and with the candidates and their transcripts and being able to evaluate those appropriately and correctly. And so she and I partner on a lot of these, especially you only get one time at some of these things. For example, a short-term staffing permit. Bilingual, like our tremendous language programs. A lot of those folks are tremendously talented teachers in their first language, which might be Mandarin or Spanish or English. And they're now trying to teach, get all of the requisite credentials, because you need additional credentials to teach in a language immersion program. Or whatever other credentials, special education teachers, education specialists as we now call them, they also have to have additional credentials. And so we work really hard with them too. And it is time bound, so we're very careful at recommending things to candidates, but ultimately it is their decision. And for example, if you only have one shot at this short-term staffing permit, Lisa and I, we would never recommend that to somebody in January or February. Because now you're giving up a full 12 months for only, because it's literally one school year. And so if we were to hire someone in January and offer them that while they're trying to finish a student teaching program, that's shortchanging them by 5 months. So we creatively look at their transcript and what's legally allowable. And we have other pathways that we can try. If the principal really wants them and the teacher really wants us to, the candidate really wants us to help them with that. So thanks for that, Scott, I appreciate it. But yeah, so this is something new that we're required to do, and we're happy to do it. I try to add some humor because otherwise this just doesn't make any sense. The terms are rather wonky.
And I believe the clear percentage is now part of the dashboard. I think we saw
It is, yes, you're right, Scott, yeah. Other than that, I think next week we're having a very unique opportunity for our Lindo Park and Lemoncrest students with the Vision Bus. We'll have more for you and an opportunity partnering with the Lions Club. They do bring a full optometry bus for children and families who meet that requirement. I really want to thank Denise Beals, one of our former district RNs who left Ramona Stoller from us, but she and our current RN, Michelle McCurdy, worked very, very hard for about a year and a half to get us together with them for this free resource. Children can come and get their eyes examined and glasses in the same visit in about 15, 20 minutes. And the other really kindness that Lions Club offers with partnering with VSB is that if there are time slots available and all the children have been served, our own employees, part-time and substitute employees who might need vision care or glasses, as adults, they can come, and if time permits, they can get served. And that's happening on the 19th, next Wednesday at Lindo Park, all day. So if anybody would like to drop by, you're more than welcome to come tour the Vision Bus. And that's all. Thank you. Dr. Winspear.
Okay, well, I have some fun follow-up stuff too, but I can't promise to be as funny as Robin. So as you know, or may not remember, we had some Williams visits last month at Lindo Park and at Lakeside Farm. So those reports have been issued to us. So letting you know that at Lindo Park, they were found to have sufficient textbooks and instructional materials at that site. And so it's a look at instructional materials, and it's also a look at our facilities. So they come through and they do a comprehensive tour of the facility, rank our facility in a variety of different areas using the FIT. And so Lindo Park had no extreme deficiencies, but the overall school rating is fair. And Christine Rosado walked the campuses with these individuals, and so she has a to-do list and is already working on addressing the things that they found. And at Lakeside Farms, I believe that the results were exactly the same. I know that we definitely had appropriate instructional materials, and the overall school rating there was also fair with no extreme deficiencies. So that is the update on our Williams visits. And then we, like Carrie mentioned, we had our first district-wide PLC on October 29th. Our TK through 5th grade teachers used that time to collaborate around the new report card. Overall, the feedback was really positive. Teachers liked the new format. They appreciated that it was more streamlined and more simple. They think that it will be better or easier for parents to understand the report card. They appreciated the guidance materials that we created, a lot of appreciation around the guidance materials. Myself and the 4 TOSAs were out chatting with teams, getting feedback. There were a few things that teachers brought up that we were able to address immediately and get back to them the next day. Then there are some other things that are kind of issues of preference. So what we've asked teachers to do is to wear the current report card for this year, use it for this year, and after trimester 2, we'll do another survey to get feedback, because I think some of it is just change. And once they use the report card a couple of times, they may find that they actually prefer the way that it is versus a different way. So we're gonna do another round of feedback after trimester 2, not 3, because trimester 3 literally it ends on the last day of school. And then we will take all of that input into consideration and see if there's any other minor tweaks that we wanna make going into next year, so that we have something that everybody, as many people as possible, love. Trimester 1 ends tomorrow, so those new report cards will be coming out or going out to families on Friday, December 5th after Thanksgiving break. And families will also be seeing our new report card for the first time. So we do have a letter going out to all families saying that there will be, on Monday, before the report cards are released on Friday, we will be sending a letter letting families know the report card's gonna look different. Here's the directions that we created to help you understand it. And so hopefully they will not be surprised when they see a new report card for the first time. And then, as Dr. Hardiman shared with you, our California dashboard was publicly released today. We had a little bit of time to preview it before it was released to the public. And I am just super proud to share with you guys that we demonstrated some really amazing gains in our academic scores and in other areas. So a lot of growth. This is also the first year that we got a ranking in science, because the California science test just started last year. And so now that we've got 2 years, well, 2 years ago it started, and then we gave it again last spring. So now that we have 2 years under our belt, only 5th and 8th grade, they were able to give us a ranking or a color on the dashboard. And so as a district, we are starting out with a color of green for science, which is amazing. Some of our schools are actually blue. So feeling really good about that, because I think you are all aware of the work, the decades worth of work we've been doing around the next generation science standards in the district. We have a state leader on our staff, Dr. Tupper, who has really been instrumental in supporting us district-wide and making sure our teachers were ready to teach the next generation science standards. Then we adopted some amazing programs, and wow, we are doing really well in science. So I am preparing a full report for next month so that you can see at the district level. As Dr. Hardiman alluded, we're seeing tremendous growth with our English learners, students with disabilities, and socioeconomically disadvantaged students. And as you know, twice a year I bring you the MAPS data, and I always show you the achievement gap between all students and those groups of students. And I always say a rising tide lifts all boats. So this is what we are seeing. We are seeing that our efforts with those student groups, lifting them up and making sure that they have access to awesome instruction and inclusion in the gen ed setting. We are seeing those groups rise, which is making all of our students rise as a result. So we will do a full dive into that next month and a little celebration, because there is a lot to celebrate.
Scott Gergens.
I'd like to thank Dr. Hardiman and her team for, I always love seeing the artwork in the district office. Really makes the room pop here. And congratulate them on their great growth and thank them for their efforts with tonight's presentation. Also want to acknowledge the effort that the teachers have gotten together, not only the creation of the report card, but also the first time implementation, and kind of echoing what Carrie and Dr. Winspear said. Just having the time to really have those deep conversations, and it's a lot. Being married to an elementary school teacher, report cards are a big deal, and the teachers really take a lot of care in communicating student achievement, student points of growth, things like that. And anytime you change a report card, I really think that our change is a great change, to be honest with you. This new report card, a lot of great thought and collaboration went into it, but it's new, and so the teachers have been spending a lot of time putting those together. And want to acknowledge that. I had an opportunity during that district-wide PLC day to meet with the middle school math teachers over at Lakeside Middle, but it was, Tierra del Sol teachers as well. The term teaching to the test gets a bad rap, and yet when you create a great assessment, you want to teach to the test, and that's what these teachers did. They worked with math transformations to create a really rich assessment of performance tasks, and then what we spent time doing was reviewing student results, and then Dr. Hardiman and Principal Dodson are giving the teachers additional time so they can go through and really dive into the student performances at this point in the year. What sort of feedback do we need to get, and what sort of goals do we need to establish moving forward so that our kids can be successful on their end of the year assessment. So, and then finally, we're so blessed to have the cooks here. They do a great job of capturing Lakeside and supporting all of our schools. As you know, professional development comes in a lot of different areas, and in this case, we had an opportunity. Principal Price over at Lemoncrest was able to invite about 30 assistant principals from South Korea to Lakeside to Lemoncrest, and the cooks did a great job capturing it. And really, it's a chance for when you have visitors, you're reflecting on practice, you're having conversations about education. Education's education regardless of the country, and we can learn from them just like they can learn from us. But it was an awesome day, and I got a little video I wanted to share with you all.
Welcome to Lemoncrest. 안녕하세요. 저는 Jen입니다. 만나서 반가워요. Welcome to Lemoncrest. Today we welcomed a group of educators from South Korea to Lemoncrest Elementary. They are vice principals preparing to become principals through the Korean National University of Education. This is the third time that we've had the honor of hosting their visit. Each time, we're reminded that caring for children is something that connects us all, no matter where we live. Our guests are visiting schools across Southern California, from rural to urban, to learn about how we teach, lead, and care for students in the United States. But it's not just them learning from us, we're learning from them too. When educators from across the world share ideas, we all get better at helping kids reach their full potential. At Lemoncrest Elementary, we're proud to be part of that global effort, working together to give every child the best future possible. Thank you for visiting.
And that concludes my
Okay, thank you. All right, is there anything else that needs to come before the board tonight? No? With that, we will adjourn the meeting.